There are 4 things required in making music. You've got the drums, you've got the vocals, you've got the melody, and you've got the bass. Today we're going to be looking into the bass. Bass sounds are diverse and they tend to play this never-ending battle between the kick drum and the bass, where you gotta be like, yo, it's my turn. Nah, it's my turn. It's my turn. Nah, it's my turn. So it's a constant battle between back and forth on the bass and the kick. Usually they occupy the low end of a sound. But that's not what today's video is about. Today's about the applications I use on iOS to get great bass sounds. Let's get to it. Whoosh. All right, first off, using samples. Samples are a great way to be able to keep your sounds consistent, and also whatever you do on one application, you can actually use it in another application. Each DAW or audio workflow that you're using may have some sort of sampler. For example, Garageband has its own sampler, Cubase has its MIDI sampler, Zenbeats has the okay, I think you get a lot of applications you use have their own inbuilt sampler. So because they have the sampler engine, all you just need to do is import the audio directly into it and you're able to use it right there. This is great because you don't need to recreate a lot of bass patches. You don't need to craft a bass sound there. It makes it consistent in the work that you're doing, and it helps keep things organized. Now, the second way I tend to use bass sounds is using inter-app audio apps. With inter-app audio apps, it's similar to making a sample, except I'm recording it directly from the inter-app app. The reason why I like this one is I actually have the bass sound or the bass patch, or I can craft it there, and I also get a sample of it. This allows me to record one snapshot of it, and then I put it directly into the sampler engine of whichever DAW I'm using. So that way I can craft a unique bass sound for me. Now, there is the third way, which is used regularly, which is using an AUV tree application. For that, you've got a lot of applications like Bassalicious, you've got the Audio Kit Bass 808. The great part about this sound is you're able to customize the MIDI notes of it, and it gives you the ability to, customize both the MIDI and the sound in the same application. The problem with this method is it uses a lot of resources that if you do not freeze it, or if Garageband doesn't optimize performance, you're going to have the device acting a bit slow or disk crashing. And also, if you share the project with somebody who doesn't have those same applications, it's kind of difficult because, yeah, it is what it is. They can't like create the sound. So yeah, so what I've been doing a lot more nowadays is creating the sound. Like if I have a good idea of the AUV tree I'm using, great. I get a sample of it and then I keep it directly into the project I'm working on. That way, they can have the sound and they can tweak it in whatever way they want to do. And if they want to change the bass sound and they have a bass sound that they like, they're able to easily do it. See, applications are just containers that store particular sounds that you want to use in a project. And every project will sound different depending on the effects you use, depending on how you manipulate the audio. So while there's always a go-to app that you use, it is not necessary that you need to use one particular application to have one particular bass sound. Speaking of effects, effects are also the other ways to transform a sound. I can actually use a plain keyboard sound and put it through an effect like tone bridge. I can lower down the octave, I can add a bit of reverb, I can add some delay to expand it. I can add some delays to make it a bit interesting. I can add some distortion to make the bass pop, to be able to change the sound. And this is really, and you don't need to use just a bass sound to do this. I've used a keyboard, I've used the French horn, I've used a lot of sounds that weren't designed as bass to act as bass. And they have their unique characteristics because it's not the same sound that you're using all the time. On Android, you can use the stock effects that come directly on the application. For example, Cubase have a lot of great effects by waves that are directly in the application. Zenbeats also comes with a great effects engine that it's right there in the box, and you can even craft it. Speaking of crafting, yeah, using the synth engine, you can pretty much make a bass sound just by using a simple sine wave and adding a different audio on it and focusing on the lower octave. And yeah, you can change it into your own unique sound. This is for if you want to make your own unique bass lines, like your bass sounds. Now, what if you just want to have fun and play live directly? Well, there's a few applications for that I can use. You can put your bass sounds directly through a sampler and just play it through the keyboard. Or if you want the feeling of playing the bass, you can look directly into an application like the Bass Guitar One. This allows you to actually play the bass directly on the screen. It is iOS exclusive. You could get a bass player, record the audio, take a snippet of it, or just have them play live on the project you're working on. There are many ways to get bass on the project that you're working on. I hope this was helpful though. Yeah, let me know in the comments what other applications you use for bass, or how do you get the bass. Anyways, take it easy. Whoosh.